Woo! Oh yes, we back again. Double duty for my boy Snowman. What it do, everybody? Back again. What's up? Promise my boy Snowman would do one for him. What's up? What's up? What's up? You know me. I'll do a little bit of uh, what's up? What's up? What's up, fat cat?
Hey, what's up?
All right, we're gonna do a little bit of charity work for my man. How you feeling? How the progress going, Snowman?
You know, I'm getting a lot of rest.
Uh,
Uh, they're figuring out why my blood pressure drops when I stand, so they got me on a couple of new medicines, and I've been able to walk around my hospital room today. I'm using a walker. I'm going to be using a cane and a walker for the time being, but yeah, man, the road to recovery is getting better. It's getting better.
yeah. So what type of treatment you have to go for now?
What type of treatment you have to go for now? Well, Saturday, my wife brought me in because I just wasn't able to eat and keep anything down. That that's the main reason I'm here. But um, that has, for the most part, since been solved. So I got a new regimen of meds that I take before um, my meals, including, and then also I take my insulin. And like I said, they're gonna get me onto, well, they got me on blood pressure medicine now. Ironic thing is, for years, my mother thought I had high blood pressure. I bet she'd be laughing her head off right now, God rest her soul, if she found out I had low blood pressure. But this is just to help get me standing and get me moving. And I think one more triple measurement tomorrow. And if I pass that test early in the morning, I will be out of here and on my way home.
That sounds like that's what's up. So coming into the fray, how does it? How did? What was the signs and the symptoms that you had for the cancer that a lot of people don't know?
It's coming from the bathroom uh, Saturday morning, June 5th, and I lost my balance and I fell, and I wasn't responsive. My daughter flew out of her office after she heard me crash, um, told my wife to dial 911, and then Sonia, my daughter, took the call and described what's going on. And my wife was just sitting there comforting me. My dog was there. And by that time, EMTs arrived and I went to Mariah Parham Hospital. They did a quick diagnosis and saw the blood clots in both my lungs after a couple of x-rays. And they immediately um, airlifted me to Duke University Hospital, and I didn't have to wait to get a procedure set up. So after that, it was 2.5 hours of me laying on a table that is shorter than me, but they got all the blood clots out. And then I was told that I had a mass in my left abdomen. And initially they didn't know what it was, but then after some more tests and a visit, a follow up, I should say, a month later, that's when we were directed to Duke Cancer Center, and that's when we were informed that I had pancreatic cancer.
Hmm. Do you know how much they removed from your or what they removed?
They got the tumor, they got all of it. Spleen's gone, gallbladder's gone. Parts of my adrenal glands are gone, which is what is leading to this current bout because it may be a little bit of insufficiencies in helping the adrenal glands. Um, Left kidney, part of my stomach. Yeah, it was a massive 6-hour operation.
Damn. And right now
Yeah,
they got rid of all the cancer and everything.
all of it is gone.
Nice. So,
Yeah, all of it's gone.
hmm, wow. So right now you're still in the recovery from everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just for in case somebody didn't know. Um, tell people a little bit about your channel.
I host a show called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and I brought it to YouTube 3 years ago. I kept trying off and on to stream it to YouTube and to Facebook, but every time I discovered a new technology to do it, someone wanted to snatch the show from me. So I waited, I bought my time. I did a little experimenting in 2017 and 2018. And yeah, 3 years ago, 2019, I brought it to YouTube. And it's a daily morning sports show. We talk about life events also. Great guests come on. I'm adding I'm adding the more of the audio aspect, like scoreboard updates and such. Um, One of my co-hosts, Will Otero, is designing a background for me. So when I get my new laptop, I can use my green screen. Um, I started the show 8 years ago off of a dare. I mean this, that someone dared me to put my opinions out there. So uh, I transferred the knowledge that I have in terms of setting up to do play by play. Found discovered Shoutcast, and I started putting my stuff out there. October
And
1st,
thank you,
2013 is when I started.
and thank you, Tank Johnson, for supporting the PayPal for the Snowman. Every little bit helps.
Thank you, Tank. Thank you, Tank, very, very much. Oh, you want to hear something wild?
What's
We,
that?
Charles and I met. Charles and I met through a mutual friend, and we were talking about men's rights. Men's rights. How's this for a curveball? I've basically been classified as disabled, but I can't get any disablement payment because my wife makes too much money.
Wow, that's some bullshit. You, that's some bullshit.
That's that's exactly what my wife said. So I'm basically tossed to the side yet again.
And it's funny because there's many of people who go through less of what you went through, and they're getting their benefits.
Yeah, but I can't because my wife makes too much money. Make that make sense? I'm the one
But
applying for
yet,
disability. My wife encouraged me to. My in-laws encouraged me to. A whole lot of people, you included, encouraged me to apply for disability even before I had my surgery. I did. Went through the process. Went through the red tape. I'm classified as disabled. I just now can't get. I just can't get paid for it.
that's some bullshit. Because if it was anybody else with lesser conditions, you would have had that.
Yep. I'd have gotten my full benefit in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Y'all want an outline of what men go through? You're listening to them. I basically started my company, and I got to tell this story because I'm so proud of you and the Black Lion security firm, Dr. Faulkner. But I started my company um, way back in 1996. And then by 2015, I was under attack by my former partner and my ex trying to take my company away from me.
What the fuck?
All because all because I have standards, I stuck to them, I followed my gut feeling, I dress in shirt and a tie when I'm on assignment, except except when I was down in North Carolina, didn't have enough of a wardrobe. And Jody really helped me out with that, and I appreciate her more than words can say. But yeah, I get attacked. I nearly had a case against me in 2016 that some guy called the IHSAA just when I was doing my state playoff coverage of Marquette Catholic and said I was inappropriately touching two female students. The whole school
What?
defended me.
The fucking what?
Every student. Charles, I wish I was kidding. But some guy that has a grudge against me because I wouldn't pay him for shitty work and forget me one sponsor out of a list of 10 that we had. And plus, at the time, I didn't know how to manage things, and I admitted that. So he went on a smear campaign. He went on a smear campaign against me,
And you
which
said it
caused me
included your
to,
ex as well.
yeah, 2015. I was dating a young lady. She wanted to help out. I figured I needed the help. Uh, I was driving to Indiana one afternoon from Chicago, where she blatantly said to me, "I want to be CEO of the company." I said, "Bitch, you don't know what goes into a broadcast, let alone a company, a broadcast company at that."
Wow. So basically, they were trying to plan a hostile takeover.
Yep, yep. And since
So,
then, it's been an odyssey to get my kingdom back.
so were you able to keep the company and get rid of those people?
Yes, I kicked them both to the curb, and I have since rebranded.
Nice. And we also have from T Gill that said, strive for a lawyer to specialize in disability claims.
Yeah, when I get out of here, I am going to seek a lawyer. I am going to seek a lawyer because right now, every little bit will help Jody and I get back to Carolina. And for those of you who have heard me before, either on my show or here, Jody is the woman who saved my life. Because before I met Dr. K, I was ready to give up on love, on life, on my broadcasting. And she threw a lifeline to me. And she's helped me get back to being me.
And that's what we're talking about. Getting a supportive woman can go a long way, especially for a lot of men, a lot of brothers out there. That supportive woman could be to make you feel like Superman, or they could be your kryptonite.
Well, the ex, who also was named Jody Dials, was my kryptonite. This Jody makes me feel like Superman every day. Even on days where I don't feel like a hero, like this past Saturday, she tried to get me to eat something, and I was just so tired and I didn't want to eat. And I heard her crying, and then I started crying. And then we both looked at each other and said, let's get this right. So Jody took control, brought me in here to the hospital, and a couple more hurdles to clear. And I think by tomorrow I'll be headed home. And I'm thinking by Thursday I'll be back in the office. But Jody has definitely made me feel like Superman every day.
That's wonderful. Now, tell us about some of the sports teams you actually broadcasted for, and some of the subjects of your show as well.
2013, I had a chance to do some minor league baseball with the Southern Illinois Miners. The voice at the time is a very dear friend of mine. Mike Ventola was the voice at the time. And he threw an invite at me. He said, I'm going to be in your area, suburban Chicago, for a 3-game series with the Windy City Bolts and the Southern Illinois Miners. Would you care to join me in the booth? I said, hell yeah, I'd love to. I met Mike and I knew we'd hit it off. But this funny story. Mike was telling me, how how he likes to operate because he's usually a solo act doing play by play. And he said, on the last day, we do a fast wrap up show, and I want to be out of here quicker than shit through a goose. And I start laughing. And Mike looked at me, bless his heart, and said, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. And I said, Mike, my favorite comedian is George Carlin. And we both started cracking up, and he said, oh, we're going to have fun this weekend. I've
Never
done
looked
many
back
high
since.
school sports. Fuck no, man. He's one of my best buddies. And we always share stories when I get him on the air with me. I've done high school basketball, baseball, football, and volleyball. Tried my hand at soccer match. Done a couple of hockey games in the Chicago Catholic League. I started at Chicago State University in 1995, broadcasting basketball. Later, it turned into volleyball, and then it also morphed into covering baseball as well. But I stuck with the high schools, even in the midst of me being homeless, even in the midst of me living in another state, even in the midst of going through a personal hell, because I was on the outs with my parents, because I did some stupid shit living in their house as an adult. But when I moved back home in 2001, my mom was there to greet me. So was my nephew, who was 3 at the time. I went upstairs to see my dad, and my dad gave me the biggest hug ever. And before I lost him, we repaired that bridge. And I'm so happy we did.
That's wonderful. And you said your dad was a big inspiration for you, not only just broadcasting, but also in life, correct?
Yes, sir. My biggest critic, my biggest fan, my biggest influence, because he said, don't ever give up on what you love to do.
And thank you, Rocket King, for the PayPal support to the Snowman.
Thank you.
And I'd have to ask you one thing, because I know on your show, it's like having a 2 to 3 hour version of classic sports. Tell us about some of your favorite classic and some of the classic games you won.
Well, the one that started it all for me was January 10th, 1982 at Candlestick Park, when Montana hit Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone. That's when I became a 49er fan for life.
Oh, yeah, Montana was that dude back in the day.
Montana was the motherfucker, okay? Montana was it for me. I got into NBA basketball 2 years prior because of the Showtime era that was building with Magic and Kareem, later on James Worthy. But despite my mom was a Laker fan, but despite her, I became a fan of Philadelphia, the 76ers, because of Julius Erving and Maurice Cheeks.
Dr. J.
Ooh. But I love that entire golden era. We'll never see an era like that again. And I reference a lot of classic moments during my show.
It's kind of funny because, you know, I'm a big fan of classic boxing, and even classic. Well, now you call it classic MMA from the '90s as well. And it's funny because you reference a lot of the who was it, the '83 Orioles who won the series.
Yes, sir.
I mean, damn near the whole team was Hall of Famers.
Listen, you know the first name I referenced when we talked, Scotty McGregor. That lefty with the slowest motion you'll ever see. Y'all thought Randy Johnson had a deliberate motion as a lefty? Look up Scott McGregor. number 16.
So who, in
And
your
he wasn't even
opinion,
the
are the
biggest
top?
reason I became an Orioles fan.
Oh man, and what's the biggest reason?
Cal Ripken Jr.
The Iron Man. You know, it's funny because if you look at his stats, they're pretty damn impressive.
And no one realizes it. I'll give you two pictures from the 80s that no one thinks should be Hall of Famers, and yet their numbers and their impact say otherwise. Let's see. I mentioned one, Scott McGregor. The other one of my favorite right-handers of all time, Jack Morris.
Oh yeah. And what would you put? Because you know I'm a diehard Ravens fan. What would you pick as the top
Yes.
four best defenses of all time?
Top four best what? I didn't hear you.
Defenses in football of all time.
I put this in no particular order. 2000 Ravens, 85 Bears, the Steel Curtain, and the 89 49ers. And why I put them in the group is because they were so underrated. But like the Ravens and the other teams I mentioned, they will hit you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And an honorable
They
mention
will
to Purple People Eaters.
absolutely. Yep, gotta have the Purple People Eaters. Gotta have them. I mentioned the Steel Curtain. They're in my top four, or top five. You know who else is in my top five?
Who's that?
The 82 Redskins. Rich Malott and Company, Charles Mann. And if you want to go 6 years later, you can use that bunch. Charles Mann, Dexter Manley. But I'm speaking of the 82 Redskins because of a rookie at the time by the name of Darryl Grant, who put the Cowboys away with a tipped interception.
Wow. I'm just thinking to myself, like, just talking to so many guys who think LeBron's the greatest of all time, and I said, man, you had to come up in the Jordan era,
Who the
man.
fuck told that? Listen, who the fuck told that lie? Anybody who's watched Snowman in the morning. Oh, I know. Listen, there's a segment we do on Wednesdays called Bron Sexual Confessions, where we focus on the fans of LeBron. I gotta say this. LeBron has been in the league for almost 20 years, and I haven't been impressed once.
And why so?
Seen better at his position and overall. I've just seen better.
Dale had a question. Said, what about the Doomsday Defense?
What about the what?
The Doomsday Defense.
Yeah, got to give props to the Doomsday Defense, but they kept running into the Steelers. When the game when it counted, they kept running into the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when the Doomsday Defense was really needed, The Doomsday Defense's last stand was 82, and that was the NFC Championship against the Redskins.
What do you think is like the most pivotal thing? The most pivotal thing that we're missing from sports now compared to back then?
Nerve. Simple 5-letter word. Nerve. I'll put it in 3 categories: nerve, heart, and passion.
Man. I mean, I'm not a basketball fan, but the flopping thing almost killed the league, man.
It has killed the league, and it's LeBron's fault. I'll say it. I'll say it out loud. It's LeBron's fault. We got a league of floppers right now. A league full of floppers that don't understand and you spoke of this word earlier. You've said it many times before during your coaching days and whenever you and I talk sports. There's a word that is missing in today's sports, and that word is fundamentals.
And go in on that one, because you know how much of a fundamentalist I am. I don't think if you have it, I think you can't reach greatness. You can't have a solid basis. And that goes for any sport, combat or whatever. Especially in combat, you get exposed very quickly in combat sports if you don't have a fundamental base.
If you don't have a fundamental base and foundation, you get exposed really quick. Really quick. And the fundamentals are the first thing, or at least I thought, were the first thing that needs to be taught. Okay, you can have all the skill you want, but if you're not coached the right way and you don't have the fundamentals to fall back on, you're dead. You're dead.
I've noticed that with a lot of sports, like defense has taken a real disgusting backseat. I mean, one of those 80s Cavs.
Yes, it has.
Like, I'm looking at it like, you got some guys who could be Hall of Famers if they just did a little bit of defense in various sports now, man. What do you think encouraged that lack of defense?
In what sport?
Pick one.
Okay. Now, I'm going to piss off a lot of football fans, but in football, Tom Brady. Tom Brady got one break because of a rule that was only used once and since abolished. And it took the ball away. It took the ball away from the Raiders, who made a defensive play. Charles, wow. I'm going to step out and step back in. Give me a moment.
Okay. For all of you who are watching, thank you for watching. Hit that PayPal, support the Snowman. We're going to talk about some classic sports. If you want to talk and compare with the sports broadcast extraordinaire, come on up on the panel and go talk to your boy, the Snowman, man. Especially for some of you Bears fans, you Bucks fans, you Ravens fans, you Cowboys fans. You're going to appreciate very few places in the manosphere where we can talk good old-fashioned classic sports, right? Very few. Welcome back, Snowman.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
But see, there are no fundamentals. Tom Brady got
Tom
a
Brady
break
got a break.
and has used it for 23 years. But there's just, like I said, that tuck rule erased the fumble that the defense caused. Let me say that again. The defense caused it.
Wow. Under, I understand some concepts where they're trying to actually protect the athletes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that part I get.
that part I get.
But they
But
take
some of it also was
the
like the
fundamentals
fundamentals
away from the game.
away from the game. I mean, I've looked at it for years for some of these sports. James Harden should have about 3 rings right now if he had defense.
James Harden would be a multiple-time MVP if he played some defense.
Very true. Craig Harper said, I wanted to discuss Ozzie at shortstop versus my dog, Deshaun Dunston. I got smoked for the Cardinals for life.
Well, I'm a
Charles Smith said,
Southsider, so
Charles Smith said the league lacked competitiveness among peers, showmanship, and storyline. Yes, they do.
the only league that has gotten it right has been the NHL. Because you got to have skills, you got to skate, you got to learn how to handle the puck. If you're in goal, you got to defend that goal. And then you got to learn forechecking, back checking. The NHL got it right. There's showmanship when someone scores a goal. Yes, but what happens? You reset and you get back to business.
I think one of the main things from a coaching perspective, even from a competitive perspective, is like there's almost like a lack of toughness and perseverance. Everybody looks
You
great.
just said the magic word.
Everybody looks great. Oh yeah, perseverance. Everybody looks great when everything's going their way. What happens when you get tested?
And I offer the prime example of one Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is okay being leader of the team when the Mavericks are doing well, but when they're in the process of getting their ass kicked, he backs off. He's LeBron 2.0. 3.0 if you include Ben Simmons in the conversation. While Charles resets, there's no fundamentals in, especially in professional sports, and the college sports are going by the wayside also. The college sports are going by the wayside because it's not about a team concept anymore. It's how fast can I get to the next level, which is why I love the Georgia Bulldogs from this past season, because Georgia leaned on their defense.
I want you to go into that.
And they know their defense.
I want you to go back into that Ben Simmons thing and how it's almost like a resurgence of when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Okay, here are my thoughts on Ben Simmons, and I can express these raw. Ben Simmons is a pussy. He's got no fundamental background. He's got no jump shot, as we all have seen. And yet, this man, and I use the term loosely, had the nerve to cite mental health as the problem where he passed up a dunk. I don't buy that bullshit, and I hope no true basketball / sports savant doesn't buy that excuse either.
Because I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know, gone are the days of like a Tim Duncan, just a fundamentally
Yes.
sound, all around verse guy. May not be flashy, but guess what?
No flash whatsoever, but he got the job done.
And I think that's the problem, is that I guess it's a reflection of the generation. I don't have to work hard as long as I got natural talent. But what happens when that natural talent meets somebody who works hard and have natural talent?
Hard work always beats natural talent. Always. Let me say that again for those of you in the cheap seats at Old Comiskey Park. Hard work always beats natural talent.
And I think ultimately a lot of people don't understand that, because sports was a very good indicator of how people were in life. You got the hard workers and you got the people
Yes.
it came naturally to. And even now, one of the purposes of having sports in schools was not only to reward the kids for their grades and their good behavior, but to give valuable life lessons.
Exactly. Exactly. And high school sports are something I've been around for 20 plus years. And what frightens me is that right there, that simple sentence you said, rewarding the kids for their hard work is starting to deteriorate. And I hate that. I hate it that it's melting into onto that level.
I meant to ask you about the for the college sports.
Yes.
What do you think about the NCAA lifting the ban on college athletes getting paid for their likeness and everything?
I'm split with it, but I figure I'm old school. You're getting paid with a scholarship and everything, but with expenses going up, especially at the quote unquote college of their choice, I can kind of understand how that is. But there needs to be a hell of a lot of regulation into this. A hell of a lot of regulation, because if you just let these kids get NIL deals and then they hit the transfer portal willy-nilly, you got a whole bunch of problems on your hands.
I feel you on that one, because you're going to have a lot of underhanded deals.
Yep.
Just to get a guy to play 1 year for you, and he could just renege and go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see a lot of it this coming year. Just watch. We're going to see a lot of it. If the students don't get their way, they're hitting the transfer portal. They don't want to. Charles, I remember you saying this during a live stream one night. They don't want to be coached.
Yep. Yep. And what makes it incredible is that they're going to go to the highest bidder, which is cool. But have you noticed in sports now, there's no such thing as loyalty anymore to your team? You were, even with the younger generations now, they're not team fans. They're individual athlete fans.
Player fans. And this is a generation that frightens me because of that fact alone. Because of that fact alone. They're not fans of teams, they're fans of players. When LeBron took his talents to Miami, how many of those Heat fans knew parts of the original roster and what arena they originally played in? And what year they came into being? You think they could answer those basic questions? No.
To give you a good description, remember, you gotta take your talents to South Beach, man.
He didn't even take a lot of his talents to South Beach. He took a lot of referees with him. I said it, and I mean every word of it.
I think it's interesting how the Jordan LeBron comparison goes on, and
shouldn't be a comparison in the first place.
And Jordan stayed with his team through good, bad, and ugly. He might have added some pieces, but good, bad, and ugly. And what made it crazy was like, LeBron showed, even though everybody needs in basketball a supporting cast, but why couldn't he get the supporting cast that he had in Cleveland?
Because he alienated the piss out of him. He alienated the piss out of him. And then got alienated, and then he alienated them a second time. No one fears LeBron on the court. That's why they couldn't get the right piece. That's another reason why they couldn't get the right pieces around him. There's no fear factor. You play against Magic Johnson, Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Oh, there's a fear factor, especially when you're playing them in their house. Especially when you are playing them in their house.
Let's not forget about the killer instinct of Kobe.
Ooh-wee. Can't forget that.
A lot of people forget.
I tell you, it's funny. Yes, they do.
And then on top of that, remember when people talking shit about Kobe?
Yeah.
Like he can't get one without Shaq. And he got that one without Shaq.
He got two of them without Shaq.
Of course.
He got two of them without Shaq.
I mean, gone are the days where you had an athlete who will win, who will will a match, a fight, a game. He will push himself through sheer will to win.
Oh, see, you climbed in my head because I can take people back to May 23rd, 1980. Scene of the crime, the Spectrum, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because Charles mentioned the will of a player. The Lakers had just won Game 5 of the World Championship Series in the Forum over Philadelphia. They lead 3-2. They're on their way to Philadelphia, but Kareem could not go due to migraines. What does Magic Johnson do? This 20-year-old rookie went right up to Paul Westhead, who was the coach at the time, and said these 4 words: "Never fear, Magic's here."
Think about that. That pure athlete who says that determination, like you're not gonna beat me unless I die, and then maybe.
Mm-hmm. And what did Magic do on that night in Philadelphia? 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and to date, the only rookie to be named Finals MVP.
Wow. I think a lot of guys when they get to the league, get to the pros, I think they worry about too much being a superstar or being a celebrity than actually doing their job.
Yep. See, this is where my comparison of LeBron and Michael go over a lot of people's heads. When Michael was drafted by the Bulls in 1984, he did not have a shoe deal. Adidas recruited him, but then, well, actually, I got that wrong. Michael wanted to have Adidas be his shoe sponsor, but Adidas wanted a big man. Nike said, "Come on in, we got you." But Nike had footage on MJ and how he plays and how he can enhance a team, a league, and a brand before they paid him. And of course, Air Jordan was born. You know what Nike did? They gave LeBron $90 million before he set foot to floor in the NBA in 2003. And for that reason and that reason alone, for me, LeBron will never, ever, ever be a complete basketball player like half of these schmoes make him out to be. Sorry, not sorry.
Now here's a question for you.
All right.
On the football, top five greatest
Okay.
players. Top five greatest players.
Now, see, that's not fair. I can't have just 5. I've watched too many greats. But I'll give you my number 1 quarterback. We already discussed him, Joe Montana. Bron got the numbers to debunk. My ass, half of those are bloated.
He got the numbers. Well, he just been in the league longer.
Yeah, 20 years as opposed. Listen, MJ had a bigger impact in 13 years than LeBron has had in 20. He just had a bigger impact. Anybody that says different hasn't, frankly, been watching.
Oh man. I wanna know that list. Hmm. Okay, I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10.
Okay. No particular position, no particular order.
Yep.
Montana, Peyton, Barry Sanders, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, Mike Singletary, Ray Lewis, and this is where it gets murky because there are 3 spots left, and there's a whole bunch of people I can put in. I'll give you a number. I'll give you 8 right. I'll stop at 8, and 8 for me would be Ronnie Lott.
Oh man, hard hitting Ronnie Lott. Jesus Christ. A man that size is not supposed to hit so hard.
Yeah, just ask Willie Anderson from '89. He didn't hit him, but Ronnie Lott was coming. I'll give you an honorable mention, John Taylor. Give you another honorable mention. I hate putting honorable mention in front of his name because he's a Hall of Famer. Steve Young.
Remember what Steve Young said? He said, "Get that 300-pound gorilla off his back."
Off my back, yes.
And you got to think he had to get out the shadow of Montana.
Yes, he did. 92, he lost to Dallas. 93, he lost to Dallas. 94, the Niners whooped that ass and then whooped the Chargers' ass in the Super Bowl. 94 had to be the year for Steve Young to get the monkey off his back.
As I said, folks, the Snowman knows his stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. He's gonna make an epic comeback, and he's gonna have the best debates and conversations about multiple various sports.
Yep.
Don't forget to hit that.
Don't
PayPal.
call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Oh yeah. Don't forget to hit
and
that.
not only that,
PayPal,
do
support
this
our
for
voice.
me, folks. Do this also, folks. I want to make June my Patreon month as well as my channel subscriber month. So, Charles, I think I gave you the link. If y'all could go to patreon.com/SIT morning. I want to use the 30 days in June to really build up both. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/snowman in the morning 50. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Patreon. I really appreciate you guys hitting the PayPal tonight. Need more because after I was told today by my wife that I'm classified as disabled, but I can't get any payment for being disabled. Your boy and his family need the help, and we need it bad because, if I may, Charles.
Yes.
Jody and I have a goal of returning to North Carolina because there's an opportunity that's waiting there for me. I plan to select a high school and turn it into $30,000 of salary, and then combined with the college I'm going to be potentially broadcasting for. My wife made it simple. You find the money, we go home. And what I want to do is, I want to do a whole lot of stuff. But after this battle with cancer and blood clots, here's a timeline. I'll do this in timeline fashion. It began last June with blood clots in both my lungs. The following month, I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Was encouraged later that month that we could knock the tumor down to size with some chemotherapy, with some oral chemotherapy. Started that in September. 2 weeks later, I But something else happened in September. I lost my mom, and we drove from North Carolina to Chicago so I can say goodbye. Uh, and then after the chemo was over, which was 3 months worth, there were two pills I had to take. One, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. The folks at Duke University Cancer Center told my wife and me to prepare for a casket. Now, anyone familiar with Duke University, especially Duke University Cancer Center, knows or has the feeling they would be aggressive. They just told a black man and his wife that the black man wasn't going to make it. They said the tumor was inoperable and that there was nothing they could do. They could try chemo again, but the chemo backfired. And we had lost our house because of the COVID crunch, and I couldn't work, and all kinds of stuff. Which is why I made this request of Charles also to find someone that will help repair credit, because I want to pay them off this summer and then find a place for me and Jody to set up shop while we buy some land out there also. That's why, that's several reasons.
So if we have anybody who's good at credit and how to build it, just let us know. We'll give an email or a text to the Snowman, and I'll introduce that person to him.
I also have a GoFundMe. If you could put that link up for me, Charles. I have a GoFundMe as well, and I want to use that as well as every other combined effort we do, because there are going to be more of these charity live streams, folks. The goal is $20,000. That'll help us get back to Carolina. That'll pay off a couple of bills that are preventing us from either renting or buying a place. That'll get us back on our feet.
Little by little, step by step, we're gonna make miracles happen. And Craig Harper,
yes, indeed.
I want you to do this in the AM. When the Snowman gets better, you got to come on his show and be a great guest, because I would love to hear the debate that you and him would have about Jordan.
I would love, from the heart, Craig, I would love to have you. I would
that would
love
be a
to have you.
classic show, the debate. And you know,
Yeah,
Craig's a big sports fan as well. And he's
I think Craig and I would have a ball.
Craig's another A1 day one. I've been knowing him since the Angry Man days. I think you two should connect.
Yeah.
And trust me, he's a big sports fan. I think that debate will be fun and a great one. I think that's mainstream worthy.
That would be a classic. That would be a classic debate. There would be a lot of facts. There'd be a lot of laughter. Salute to you, brother, and fuck cancer. Thank you, Craig. I love you, brother. Thank you for that. My pops died from mesothelioma. Craig, as much as we are going to pick on each other sports-wise, I support you, and I know you support me, and I love you for that. And I love all the folks that have been chiming in tonight. This is the strongest I felt in 6 weeks.
Man,
this is the strongest.
You sound like you never had a surgery.
Yeah, I'm getting back to that point.
You always gotta think
getting
about
back to that point.
Every time me and the Snowman on the phone having a conversation, I'm like, "How you feeling, man?" He's like, "I'm getting it stronger by day by day." I said, "You better get your damn rest too." I mean, the Snowman reached out to me when he found out I was diabetic, and it was like funny because he kept encouraging me, saying, "Don't worry, you're gonna get through it." He said, "I know the type of guy you are. You're disciplined. You got strength. You got perseverance. And right now, I can say my diabetes is under control. I'm in normal levels. I've been cutting down my sugars dramatically, and it's been. There are some days it gets difficult, some days, but I've
Mm-hmm.
learned to deal with it stride by stride. And for the love and support I've been given by the YouTube fam, the Snowman and others. But guess what? Everybody's been keeping me honest. I've been honest, and guess what? Your boy's gonna be healthy. Your boy Snowman's gonna get back healthy, and we're gonna style and profile. Woo!
Wow. Woo! That we are. That we are.
By the way, I'm gonna make sure all the things when we end this broadcast, I'm gonna pin in the comment section all your stuff in here to make sure everybody get it.
I appreciate it.
Craig said, "Let's get it." Also, I have 2 grassroots businesses in Atlanta. The energy is real from all of us. For you, bro. Black men, we form up like Voltron when we need to be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll make this offer also. I made it to Charles, and I will make it anyone that wants to advertise on my show. Am I seeking advertisers right now? Yes, I am. Y'all want to advertise on my show? I'll throw you a couple of free bones, and then we got to put pen to paper and have a discussion, because when I go all out and do my show, and we put it in segments where the commercials are due, and I say we got to pay some bills, I mean just that. I have a rate card standing by, and anyone that's interested in advertising on my show, just let us know. Let us know, and I know Charles will reach out to some people.
Oh yeah, we see.
I
Craig
need
Harper's
everybody in the
old school,
chat to reach out to some people.
Craig goes
Yep.
into Black Manosphere. He's as deep as any content creator. He has a successful business up in Atlanta. And I mean, put your business in the comment section in the chat too. I mean, if you want to talk about a good brother, Craig's the man you need to network with. That is a good man. That's a good brother. Always faithful.
And we will network. We will network. You can give me a freeze when we all rich, man. You got it.
I'm gonna
Thank
put
you,
it to you
Craig.
this way. And thank you with salute, Craig, because trust me, this is one of the guys I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see you and Craig on the show, styling and profiling, talking about the classic sports, the modern day sports. It's gonna be fun. Hey, Craig is so knowledgeable. He might be a recurrent guest. Be careful.
I might have to create a weekly segment for him. I'm willing to do that.
Hey, that sounds brilliant to me.
I'm ready to. I'll create a segment for him. I got a few created already, and since Cole has taken over the executive producer duties, his creative mind can handle a lot more. So we all can win this. We all will win this. You got it, Craig. Let's work.
We're gonna get a lot of stuff happening, man. We're gonna get a lot of stuff happening. We're gonna get a lot of stuff done. 2020 is the year. 2022. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a year of openings.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go through this not as tame or as lame as a sheep, but as bold as a lion. I'm about to get sleepy.
Bold as a lion, baby.
About to take care of some stuff. Take a shower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put your PayPals and everything in the comment section. It's always a pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe to Snowman in the morning. And tell Snowman, you know how we always leave off. Go ahead to give Jody a kiss and tell her the champ said hello. Woo!
You got it. And thank you to everyone that came through tonight. The links will be pinned into the description. I'll have it pinned on my YouTube page. I got to get some rest. I know Charles has to get some rest, but thank you all so very, very much. Thank you so very much. Snowman, appreciate you guys, and I love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, Snowman. And we're out.
Thanks, y'all. We're out.
Woo!